Hi everyone. Today we learn about introductions to major crops and cropping systems useful for ICAR, JRF, NET, NABARD and all Agri competitive exams. आज हम स्टार्ट करेंगे इंट्रोडक्शंस टू मेजर फील्ड क्रॉप्स से. ठीक है. हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश दोनों मीडियम वाले स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत हेल्पफुल होने वाली है ये वीडियो. तो लास्ट तक बने रहें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें. लेट्स बिगिन गाइस. इंट्रोडक्शंस टू मेजर फील्ड क्रॉप्स. प्रमुख फसलों का परिचय. कंटेंट्स, classification and distributions of field crops, definitions and concept of multiple cropping, mixed cropping, intercropping, relay cropping and alloy cropping, crop rotations. ये कंटेंट्स हैं. आज इन्हीं पर हम चर्चा करेंगे. हिंदी मीडियम वालों के लिए हिंदी में है, इंग्लिश मीडियम वालों के लिए इंग्लिश में है. दोनों लैंग्वेज में ये वीडियो मैंने रिकॉर्ड की है. मेजर फील्ड क्रॉप्स. क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ फील्ड क्रॉप्स इज नेसेसरी टू नो द एडप्शंस, हैबिटेट, लाइफ साइकिल, न्यूट्रिएंट रिक्वायरमेंट, इंसेक्ट, पेस्ट एंड डिसीज रिएक्शन of crops so that an appropriate productions technology could be developed and adopted for maximum productivity at minimum cost. Crop plants are grouped into three main classes according to the range of cultivations. They are as follows. First, garden crops. Second, plantations crops. Third, field crops. First, garden crops. Crops, plants that are grown on a small scale in gardens such as kitchen gardens, flower gardens and backyard gardens. Second, plantations crop. Crop plants that are grown on a larger scale on estates. They are perennial or permanent in nature. Third, field crops. Crop plants that are grown on a vast scale. They are mostly seasonal. Among these three classes, agronomy deals with field crops only. Field crops are classified in many ways according to economic or agrarian or agricultural classifications or classifications according to use of crop, plants and their products. Field crops are classified as follows. First, cereals, rice, wheat, maize and sorghum. अनाज में जो है राइस, wheat, maize and sorghum आएंगे. Pulses, red gram, Bengal gram, ब्लैक ग्राम, ग्रीन ग्राम एंड काउपी. थर्ड है हमारा ऑयल सीड्स, ग्राउंडनट, कैस्टर, सीसम, सनफ्लावर, सेफ्लावर एंड सोयाबीन. फाइबर क्रॉप्स, कॉटन, सुगर क्रॉप्स, शुगर केन. नेक्स्ट, फोडर क्रॉप्स, वर्शिम, लूसर्न, स्टाइलो, हाइब्रिड, नेपियर, पाराग्रास एंड अंजन ग्रास. ग्रीन मैन्योर्स क्रॉप्स, सनहैम, डेचा एंड प्लीपेशरा. क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम. द क्रॉपिंग patterns used on a form and their interactions with form, resources, other farm enterprises and available technology which determine their makeup. First, crops. Second, crop sequences. Third, management techniques. Fourth, period of time. Intercropping, cultivation of two or more crops simultaneously on the same field with or without a row arrangement, row intercropping or mixed cropping. There is intercrop competitions during all or part of crop growth. It's further subdivided as first mixed intercropping, second row intercropping, third strip intercropping, and fourth relay intercropping. Cropping systems comprises all components required for the productions of a particular crop and the interrelationships between them and environment. In the cropping systems, sometimes a number of crops are grown together or they are grown separately at short intervals in the same field. Next, cropping pattern, the yearly sequence and spatial arrangement of crops and follow on a given area. Historically, cropping systems have been designed to maximize yield, but modern agriculture is increasingly concerned with promoting environmental sustainability in cropping system. Future ecology is more important than present economy. Type of agriculture, objective, input, output. Subsistence agriculture, low level, commercial farming and sustainable agriculture. Objective में to sustain life and family need, input low, output low. Commercial farming में to obtain high income, high, ठीक है, इनपुट भी हाई आउटपुट भी हाई, कमर्शियल फार्मिंग याद रखना है. सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस, ऑब्जेक्टिव में इनपुट भी लो आउटपुट हाई. Basic principles of cropping systems complement each other. Crops and a cropping rotations which utilize available resources efficiently. Third, maintain and enhance soil fertility. Fourth, diversity of growth cycle. Fifth, choose a diverse species of crops. Choose a diverse species of crop. Sixth, keep the soil covered. And seventh, strategically plan and modify the cropping system as needed. ये हिंदी ट्रांसलेट में थोड़ा सा कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आई हैं, जैसे ये जो W का मार्क आप देख रहे हो, तो इसको आप थोड़ा इग्नोर कीजिएगा और जो लिखा है कुशलतापूर्वक उपयोग करते हैं. कुछ मिस्टेक हैं, आप देख लीजिएगा इनको. क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम. Depending on the resources and technology available, different types of cropping systems are adopted on farms. Soil cropping, intensive cropping, soil cropping, whom we also call monoculture. Okay, intensive cropping, multiple cropping, intercropping, sequential cropping, crop rotations. Monocropping, whom we also call solid planting. This is where the field is used to grow only one crop season after season, also known as solid planting or repetitive growing of the same crop on the same land. Encourages pest, diseases, and weeds. It can reduce the soil fertility and damage the soil structure. Multiple cropping, growing two or more crops on the same field in a year. Annual and perennial plants can be organized in field together. It's a form of polyculture. Limiting factors: low intensity of irrigations, long duration, varieties, fertility. Example: tomatoes, onions, marigold. The marigolds repel some tomatoes pest. Mixed intercropping, strip intercropping. Mixed intercropping: first growing two or more crops simultaneously with no distinct row arrangement. Second, also referred to as mixed cropping. Example: sorghum, pearl millet, and cowpea are mixed and broadcasted in rain-fed conditions. Strip intercropping: growing two or more crops simultaneously in strips wide enough to permit independent cultivations but narrow enough for the crops to interact agronomically. Example: groundnut plus red gram. रेशियो जो रहेगा 6:4 स्ट्रीट. Like and subscribe. Row intercropping: growing two or more crops simultaneously where one or more crops are planted in rows, often simply referred to as intercropping. Example: maize plus green gram, maize plus black gram, groundnut plus red gram. Main crop, whom we also call base crop. This is planted at its optimum soil crop populations in an intercrop situation, and the second crop is planted in between rows of the main crop or base crop for extra yield without sacrificing the main crop yield. Components crop refers to either or of the individual crop in intercropping situation. Relay cropping, overlapping cropping. Growing two or more crops simultaneously during the part of the life cycle of each. A second crop is planted after the first crop has reached its reproductive stage of growth but before it's ready for harvest. Example: maize, potato, radish. Nursery crop before harvest of main crop. Para or otera. Cropping: sowing of lettuce or lentil pulses before harvesting of rice in low-land areas, as tillage is not possible. Para cropping is succession constitute relay cropping, 1.5 times more seed rate, 15 to 20 days before harvesting of paddy. Third, Rabi season. Advantages and disadvantages of intercropping. Intercropping advantages: biodiversity and stability, increased yield, maintenance of soil fertility, fodder and manure, soil cover, risk spreading and food security, weed control, microclimate, physical support, pest and diseases control, utilizations of labor. ये advantages. And disadvantages: mechanized planting and harvesting are difficult to apply needed fertilizers, chemical, weed control may be difficult. Labor intensive. Experimentations with intercropping is more complex and difficult to manage than without sole cropping. Allelopathic effect may be present. एलोपैथिक को डिटेल्स में रीड कर लेना, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक है ये एलोपैथिक. कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में भी इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं, या फिर मैं एलोपैथिक पे एक वीडियो लेकर आऊँगा. Prerequisites for intercropping: time of peak nutrient demands should not overlap. Example, maize plus earth. Second, competitions for light should be minimum. Complementarity between components crops, difference in maturity time at least 30 days. Competitions for CO2 and water should also be minimum. Next, sequential cropping, whom we also call non-overlapping cropping. Growing two or more crops in sequence on the same field in a farming year. The succeeding crop is planted after the preceding crop has been harvested. Crop intensifications is only in time dimension. There is no intercrop competitions. Return cropping is also a form of sequential cropping. Double cropping, growing of two crops in a year in sequence. Triple cropping, growing of three crops in a year is sequence. And quadruple cropping, growing of four crops in a year in sequence. Alley-cropping, planting of two or more sets of single or multiple rows of trees or shrubs and wide spacing. Creating alleys within which agricultural, horticultural or forest crop are cultivated. Benefits of alley cropping: diversify farm enterprises, reduce erosion, मतलब जो इरोजन है उसको रेड्यूस करती है. इम्प्रूव वाटर क्वालिटी, वाटर की क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव करती है. प्रोटेक्ट क्रॉप्स को प्रोटेक्ट करती है. एनहेंस वाइल्ड लाइफ, इम्प्रूव एस्थेटिक्स. नेक्स्ट, क्रॉप रोटेशन, system of growing different kinds of crops in recurrent succession on the same land. One cycle may take one or more farming years to complete. For irrigated areas, one farming year. Object to get maximum profit from least investment without impairing soil fertility. ऑयल सीड रैप है, विंटर व्हीट. डायग्राम्स देख लीजिएगा. Principles of crop rotations. Tap roots, fibrous roots crops, legumes, non-legumes, more, rice, maize, wheat, sorghum, safflower, pearl millet, black gram, sesame, Bengal gram, wheat, mustard, maize, safflower. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's study agriculture and like the video. Bye bye.